Hey guys, welcome to today's video. I'm kind of whispering because I'm filming this at 8:30 at night and the kids are still not technically like 100% asleep. So I don't want them to like hear me and then like never go to sleep. Today was rough, if you can't tell by my face. Today I got my butt kicked by my children, straight up. It was one of the rougher days that we've had in a while in terms of like meltdowns, in terms of like I apparently was ruining all of their lives and everything was an issue and a crying and a whining and I got my butt kicked. So I still wanted to have a video up for you guys tomorrow. So I'm literally filming this and then I'll have this up tomorrow. So we're gonna answer some questions. I'm gonna answer some of the questions that I had asked you guys here and on Instagram, see how many I can get through. Actually, you kind of read through some of them and you guys asked me a lot of really good questions this time around. So I'm sure that I won't get to all of them, but we can do like a part 2 to this because I also don't want this video to be super long because I still have to edit it. But you guys can keep me entertained because I also am filling out, like prepping the kids' Valentine's Day little cards. So they have co-op tomorrow. This is the first year that I ever like have kids in a class where they did or are doing like a Valentine's Day exchange. So the only like bad thing is they literally told me like yesterday, they literally decided, oh, let's do a Valentine's Day exchange yesterday in like the evening time. So I only had today to like go buy stuff. And today is the 8th of February and there's like nothing at Target. So we went to Target today. I could find nothing. So like all of the cute stuff, like all of the cute, I don't know, the stuff you're seeing on Instagram, that's not what we're doing this year. We're literally doing, I'll show you what I picked up. Actually, before I tell you, this might be helpful to some of you guys if you haven't done Valentine's Day stuff. So they decided to do a Valentine's Day exchange, but there are some moms in the group of like the little co-op group that have kids with like specific allergies. So again, I'm like new to this world. I just thought I was gonna go pick up candy and like everybody was gonna be happy. And then I had these moms saying like, oh, you know, our kids have allergies. Can we do like a toy, or can we do vegan options? Like, you know, got a little more complicated. But she did provide a list, or like this mom provided a list of candies that were like allergen friendly and like, you know, things that were like acceptable, which actually had more things on it than I thought. So here are some of the things on that list. So she said, here's just a quick list I put together of candies I think are popular for Valentine's Day. Dum Dums, Jolly Rancher lollipops, any that don't have a contains milk statement, so like not Tootsie Pops. Any candy by Yum Earth, any candy by Enjoy Life, Welch's Fruit Snacks, Swedish Fish or Sour Patch Kids, Smarties, Nerds, Starburst, and Ring Pops. So I guess, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, or you know, she's wrong. These are some of the candies that I guess kids with a lot of allergies can receive, or better things to receive. So anyway, I went to then Target looking for any of these things, and like all of like the super easy, quick to put together candies were kind of just like gone. Like the shelves were bare. But this was what I was able to pick up. So I did find a box of Welch's Fruit Snacks. So I'm gonna put these in like the little card from Jackson. So I have the 2 kids, so I thought I had to do like a Valentine from Jackson and a Valentine from Riley. I think I did that right. So I got that, and then this little pack of like Secret Life of Pets. Is that even what it is? Or Super Pets? Super Pets. So they come with like a little card and they come with a tattoo. And then I'm gonna attach the Welch's. Like, this is like bringing back all of these school memories, but literally when we went to school, it was like, here's a card, and if you were lucky, you just got some random piece of candy. So I'm just gonna fill them out so at least they say their names, and there's like a little spot to put the tattoo. Nothing fancy. Like, there's all these creative ideas on Instagram, and that's just not my life this year. I would have loved to make something at least a little bit cuter than this, but this is fine. And the kids are gonna eat the Welch's Fruit Snacks and they're gonna have the time of their life. And there you go, there's a tattoo. So just remember, like, if you're also like stressed about Valentine's Day stuff, like, it's okay. Like, the kids will survive. If your Valentine was like not the biggest hit in the class and you didn't spend a fortune on it, like, it's okay. They're probably like tiny children that won't remember this in 2 days, so that's fine. So I'm gonna fill these out for Jackson, and then these are the ones that I got for Riley. Literally, I went to CVS because I didn't have any other options at Target, and yeah, a box of Dum Dums. It was like $5, and then each kid gets 2 dum-dums, and these are like the little cards that I have to punch out and then like thread the dum-dums through like the 2 holes. That's their Valentine's Day thing. Happy Valentine's Day. And then I don't even have like, I think the kids were like decorating mailboxes or bags or something. I didn't have any of that, so like I picked up bags. Hopefully that's fine and they can put their little Valentines in there. Super Pinterest mom status right now. In other news, Mimi is here with us, so that's exciting. My mom flew in and she was with us today. I went to pick her up yesterday, so she's gonna be with us through the weekend and we're just excited to see her. The kids obviously were thrilled. And then I did share that on Instagram and I got a lot of people saying like, oh, why is Mimi there? Is it because you're packing? Like you're selling your house and you're packing and she's there to help you? I am not yet packing. Like our house is not on the market yet, you guys. We are not at that stage yet. I promise I will let you know like when that is happening or when we're getting close to it. We're still waiting on a piece of freaking paper from Joe's work that says like, hey, yes, we have the funds for it to happen. So again, just like literally on pins and needles here, waiting for that, you know, information to come through or that paper or whatever. But hopefully very, very soon. How am I supposed to put this little tattoo through here? Like literally, there's like, this thing doesn't even close. Like I really need instructions for this. Like I thought it would, like this was pretty dummy proof. Like, and I can't even figure it out here. I literally freaking ripped the Valentine's Day card. Clearly I am not very experienced in this. All right, this is starting off super well. All right, a million years later, I'm trying to get some stuff done, but like I literally cannot multitask. Like this is, for some reason, like beyond my talent ability. So just bear with me. I'm just gonna try to answer some questions. I'll try to do what I can in the meantime. But first question over here. This one says, how do you find time to get ready in the morning when you're home alone with the kids? So when I'm home with the kids, like it doesn't take me very long to get ready. So there's that. But if I need to get ready or if I want to get ready, I'll either get ready like first thing in the morning when the kids like come into my room anyway. Like they come to my room to wake me up, to say good morning. So I'll just like leave them like here in my room and they're like either showing each other a book or sometimes I turn on the TV here in my room and like they're entertained long enough that I can be here like in the bathroom getting ready. Or sometimes like they're already downstairs and they're already like playing and doing magnet tiles or like they're entertained and they're at an age where I'm okay with leaving them down there and like I'm not watching them with my eyeballs, but I know that they're fine. Like every once in a while I'll call down to them and I'll be like, are you guys okay? Obviously I couldn't do that when they were much younger. Like I recently got to the point where I'm okay doing that. So when you've got like younger kids, it's harder. I used to though, like if I had to get ready, I used to put the kids like in the bathtub. Like I have no problem just being like, okay, we're gonna use this little bathtub as a playpen situation here so that I can get dressed, and that was fine. I would either take the iPad in there sometimes and be like, here you go, watch a show, or just like a toy, and here's some Barbies, here's some blocks, you're just gonna play and pretend that it's a playpen. And that would give me enough time to get ready. So you gotta do what you gotta do. What are your plans for homeschooling during newborn phase? So that's obviously something that's been very much on my mind because I have a newborn on the way. Baby's due like at the end of July, early August, if the baby's late. So like for the fall season next year, Riley will be technically in kindergarten, like officially in kindergarten because we're doing pre-K 4 with her this year. Why is this so hard? Jackson will be in pre-K 3. So really the one that I'm most like concerned about is Riley because like I obviously don't want her to fall behind, but I'm really like, I say that I'm most concerned about her, but I'm not really concerned because this year for pre-K 4, I've still been doing kindergarten stuff with her. So I'm trying to get her to a point this year where like a lot of the kindergarten stuff she already knows, she already feels comfortable with. So I'm kind of like getting her ahead of technically where she should be by the end of this year so that, you know, she just kind of has like a head start next year, if that makes any sense, because I'm still here friggin' trying to put these tattoos in here. With that being said though, like obviously it's going to be an adjustment. Obviously like it's going to be a new experience, and so I'm going to have to just kind of play it by ear. I've never homeschooled and had a newborn that I'm taking care of. But homeschool number one, remember, it doesn't take very long. So I do homeschool with Riley now for like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, if that. So I figured that, you know, I don't know, if the baby's napping, even if the baby's like napping on me, like, or in the carrier on me, I can still attend to Riley and I can still walk her through something, and I think that will be fine. And if we go a little while, even if we go a few weeks without doing like everyday consistent homeschool, it's gonna be okay, because I know that Riley's at a point where she's fine. Like, I'm keeping an eye on like where she's at and like all of her different like milestones and like, you know, what I think that she should be doing at this point. And then what we'll probably also do is like whenever like the school year ends this year, like I don't know if it ends in May or whatever, instead of like stopping at that point, we'll just kind of keep going. And if I can kind of get a head start on her kindergarten curriculum, which again, she's already doing some kindergarten stuff now, if I can get a jump start on it, then that'll be good, because she'll already be ahead of the game. So I'm not too concerned, but I still do plan on homeschooling her for kindergarten. Okay, so this question was asked in a lot of different ways, both on Instagram and here. It said, this is obviously way down the road, but do you think that you're gonna take the same route with NFP after your new baby is born? So I got a lot of people just saying like, is your family complete after this third baby, or are you still gonna be open to having more kids? Like, what's the situation on that? So basically my answer to that right now is, first of all, also like somebody asked me like, is Joe gonna get a vasectomy after baby number 3? So a straight up no to vasectomy, because in the Catholic Church, like that's against Catholic teaching. Like getting a vasectomy is not like according to what the church teaches. So he won't be getting a vasectomy. So we'll still be practicing NFP. And I actually, like, once the baby comes, I have to get back in touch with my coach, with my NFP coach, because I'm gonna want to like have some guidance on like how to navigate NFP when you're postpartum, when you're nursing and stuff. It's hard to explain, especially like if you're not Catholic. Like, I approach NFP from a Catholic point of view because I am Catholic, and so the Catholic teachings on NFP and sex and the openness to life, it's pretty intense. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty intense. But what the Catholic Church doesn't teach is that like, oh, you need to have literally 20 kids right back to back, and as many kids as you know you possibly can have. Like, you need to have, you know, you need to just keep going and have, like I said, like 30 kids. Like, that's not what the Catholic Church teaches. The Catholic Church teaches that you can use NFP to space out your kids in a thoughtful way, and really at the end of the day to be able to like consult with your priest. That's likely what we'll do. The church teaches that like, unless you have a valid reason, I don't know if the wording is valid, but unless you have like a legit reason not to have kids, that you should be open to it. And again, they're against contraception, they're against birth control, but I do think that it's okay to take some time after you've had a child to pray about it, to, again, to kind of discern when you're going to be ready for the next child. And so that's probably what we'll do, and like how we'll navigate it. Like, just kind of see what stage of life we're in, like what our life looks like at that point, and then consult with like our spiritual advisors and consult with our priests and people that we trust, and kind of see where that kind of conversation takes us. And just through prayer, like, what does that look like? Like, sitting here right now, I don't see any reason why we wouldn't be able to have more kids in the future if God decides to bless us with more kids. But I also just got my butt kicked by my 2 kids. So I don't know. It's definitely, again, a conversation that's going to be between us and our priests, and just through prayer and through talking to God and figuring it out that way. I won't be returning to traditional birth control, getting birth control pills. Like, even if we decide to wait, even if we decide to space out kids or wait 2-3 years, whatever the case is, I'm still going to be doing it from an NFP standpoint, from the same standpoint that I was doing this time around, like tracking my body, and if we're abstaining, then we're abstaining like during my fertile window. So believe me, I'll talk about all of that, and I want to do like an updated NFP video to kind of piggyback off of where we were before I got pregnant. So stay tuned for that. And again, I know that not everybody's into NFP, and I never ever say that it is for everybody, but you asked, so that's kind of my answer to that. This person said, how do you guys set up finances for you to be able to be a stay-at-home mom? I so much want to make the switch, but it seems like a financial risk. So I mean, I'm very lucky, very blessed that Joe has a great job. Like, there's no secret about that. Like, if Joe didn't have a job where he made a good amount of money, like, it would be very, very hard for me to stay home. But at the same time, like, we have always lived much like below our means. Like I definitely am not like an overspender. I'm the one that kind of like reels Joe in, but I've always made it like a point and a priority to not spend all the money we have, and to, again, even if we bring in X amount of dollars, we don't need to spend all of that. Let's make sure our spending is below that so that we have like a little cushion so that we can save and we have an emergency fund. It is really hard. Like, my mom and I were actually talking about that today in the car, because I mean, I'm stressing about the financial situation when we go to Miami, because okay, I'm losing my voice, that's great. But when we go to Miami, I've told you guys, like, everything is more expensive. My mortgage will be more expensive. So I get that it's really hard for a lot of people just to live off of one income. I'm also blessed in that I have YouTube and that I have social media, and I'm able to work from home and bring in a little bit of extra. That definitely helps, but that's not the kind of thing that happened overnight. I tell you guys all the time, I have been doing this online thing for over 10 years. Like, it is my career. It is what I have done the longest. I started a blog in 2012, I think, is when I started my website. And then I transitioned to YouTube. So it was like a long time building this. But I do think that for a lot of people who think maybe it's not doable at all, I think that maybe that's true. Maybe that's true, because I don't know what your husband makes. Like, I don't know what your situation is, but it's about prioritizing like what's most important to you as well. So like, maybe you can downsize, right? Maybe instead of a house, maybe that means that you're looking at a townhouse or an apartment. Maybe it means instead of having 2 cars, it means having 1 car. And like, those are big sacrifices. Like, those are sacrifices that you make. Like, there's a trade-off to staying home and, you know, living off of 1 salary. Is that trade-off worth it to you? Like, those are the questions you have to ask yourself. Like, is it worth it to be a stay-at-home mom and to be with my kid? You know, could we do with less? Are we able to still, like, you know, provide and put food on the table? Like, those are the things that you have to think about. But it is a financial risk, but there's also definitely a good side to it. But everybody's situation is different. So I don't know exactly how to answer that. So I feel you. Like, I feel for, you know, people who want to be able to stay at home, but like, it's just financially like not there. But maybe it's not there now, but maybe in 3, 4, 5 years it will be. So like, don't lose sight of that goal if it's something you really want. For us, we're just like naturally savers. We're naturally like, we didn't have a lot of debt. Joe didn't go to college. He went to the Coast Guard after high school. I went to college. I got a bachelor's and a master's, but I got my bachelor's on a scholarship, and I got my master's also through partial scholarship, I believe. And then when I was working, the place that I was working at paid for my master's. So I made decisions about where I went to college based off of wherever I could go there cheaper, and wherever like I would get money to go and, you know, would have the scholarships. So that helped me so much, because if I had student loans, you know, debt now, like, that would just be a killer. So do you plan on filming a birth vlog? Would love to watch it, but I completely understand if you choose to be more in the moment. So as of right now, I do plan on filming a birth vlog. My birth vlogs with both of my kids are some of my most cherished videos and memories, and I love that I have them to look back on. And I do think that they're helpful. Like, there's some people that are like, why do you have to put your birth on the internet? And I get it. Like, if you don't want to put your birth on the internet, no one should be forced to put their birth on the internet. But I do think that, like, I'm open to it, and I think that it can be helpful, because especially as a first-time mom, like, you don't know what to expect at all. You don't know. And I think that it can be comforting and it can be helpful to watch another mom go through it, and just to see how beautiful birth is and life is. And if I can share any of it and make any mom or expectant mom like feel a little bit less alone, or a little bit less, you know, anxious or stressed out, or just to feel like they have someone else that's going through it with them, like we can do it together, then I think that that's also a very worthwhile cause. So right now I have intentions of doing it. Like, will it be exactly the same as like how I did it with Jackson and Riley? maybe, maybe not. Like, I'll just have to get a feel for what happens. I mean, I'm saying yes, I'll do a birth vlog, but if there's like an emergency C-section, like I can't film a birth vlog. So we'll see, but I have every intention right now of filming some kind of it. Do you know if you're having one baby or possibly twins? There are no two babies in there. There's one baby. So let's get that very clear, no twins. I did get questions about the name, like what I'm naming the baby, or since I'm not finding out the gender, which is another question I got, I'm not finding out the gender. Do you have to, like, how are you gonna do the name? So yes, we will have to pick a boy name and a girl name. For a boy name, I pretty much have the name. I'm pretty like 99.9% positive. Girl name, I also have one that I really like. I just kind of have to finalize it. So we'll be going into, you know, the birth with two names, and then whatever it is, then that's what their name will be. So this person asked, what shows are you watching lately? So I started watching this show that I told you guys on Instagram I was gonna watch because you guys recommended it over there. It's called Dark, and it's on Netflix. I don't know how I feel about it. Like, I really don't. I had so many people raving about it, saying that it was like the best show ever. It was so cool. And it's like about time travel. And like, one of the things that my brain does not compute, like my brain computes to like a lot of things, but not time travel. And it's so hard for me to watch it. And like the first two seasons were pretty okay. Like, they were good. The future and the past, and like these people go back in time, and then in the future, a lot of it was very cool, like a very new watching experience, like not like any show that I've watched in the past. So it was cool. And the first season, like I would watch the episodes at night, and I have like this huge knot in my hair and it's really bothering me. So I think I binge watched that season like in 2 days, like at night. Like I went to sleep at 1 in the morning because I'd start watching like at 9. So it was really good. Now I'm on the 3rd season, and now it's like not even just like past and future and moving forward in time and backwards in time. Now there's like a whole other like world and like a future world. It's a little bit much for me, and I'm like losing it. Like, I'm losing patience with the show, and I don't even know if there's a season 4 or if there is supposed to be a season 4, but I'm just kind of like, wrap it up. Like, tell me what happened or figure it out, but like it's just a little bit, I don't know. And like, there were people that swore by the show, and like I wanted to like love it, but it's been a little bit like too hard on my brain. Like, I needed something like just a little level less difficult for my brain to compute. So that's what I'm watching now. I'll probably finish this because I feel like I wasted all this time watching all the other seasons. So I'll probably finish, and then I'll give like a final report. Maybe like the last episodes, it's like mind-blowing, and I don't know, all of this craziness was worth it. Do you have any shows that you don't let your kids watch? As a fellow conservative Christian, I try to monitor and be picky about what they watch, but I don't have time to watch everything that they want to watch beforehand. So something along the lines of, you know, what do I not let them watch? And Milena here on YouTube, she just posted a video a few days ago, last week, whatever, just kind of about this topic and her convictions on what she lets her kids watch. And I loved that video. Like, there were a lot of people that loved it. There were some people, of course, like in anything, that had their own opinions and, you know, were not as thrilled. But I thought it was a good conversation. Just basically, like, are we monitoring what our kids are watching? And like, if you're, you know, if you have more traditional conservative views and you believe more in traditional family values and you're a Christian, like, what kinds of things are your kids watching? Like, is it something that you're paying attention to, or is it something that you're just like letting them watch whatever? And again, I'm not here to tell you what to let your kids watch, but for me, like, that's one of the reasons why I switched to Yippee and Minnow versus like letting the kids have access to YouTube Kids on their iPads. Jackson still does, because he's still kind of like, just all he watches are the little freaking like cars moving around. But for Riley, there were some shows on there that I was just like, because I don't know what every single show looks like, I don't feel comfortable with you having access to it. So on her iPad, she's got Yippee and Minnow, and both of those are Christian-based streaming apps. So I know that all of the conversations and all the topics are gonna be aligned with the values that we have. The only one that I can literally think off the top of my head that I don't let her watch anymore, that sometimes she'll ask me for, is she used to like watching Sophia the First on Disney Plus, and we did get Disney Plus back, by the way. So I don't know if I ever officially said that. I had taken Disney Plus away for a while. Then I added it back, but I added it back only on the big TV. So I have access to the remote control. I can pick what they watch, because there are some things on Disney that I don't like for them to watch, or that I don't feel is appropriate for them. And Disney has gone in a very just different direction than like traditional Christian beliefs. in a lot of ways. I'm not here to tell you what is, you know, okay for your family to let your kids watch, but for us, I just don't want free reign to Disney Plus. So off the top of my head, Sophia the First, she used to love watching that, and it's like a cute little girl princess cartoon. But for me, not too long ago, she turned it on, and it was an episode. I don't know if it's every episode or if it was just kind of like a one-off episode. It was an episode where, I don't know, she had some kind of like an amulet, and she was like summoning something with the amulet. And again, maybe some people are fine with that, but me, if you haven't watched the video that I shared, which was basically my testimony, I shared a lot of convictions about witchcraft and like the new age occult kind of stuff that I want to stay away from, and I want my kids to not like have that in their face all the time. So when I saw her watching that episode, I was like, oh no, like we're not doing like summoning and like she's wearing like a gemstone. That again, maybe you view it as innocent. I didn't like that. Like I just got bad vibes from it. So that show I don't let her watch, and I can't think of like too many off the top of my head that she can't watch. But we kind of stick to the classic stuff. We stick to the classic movies. We stick to like the movies that I grew up watching, even though, do I love them? Like, do they have the best messages? Like, no. The Little Mermaid is one of Riley's favorite movies, and it was one of my favorite movies growing up, and we'll still watch it and I'll still play it because it's a classic and there's nothing like inherently wrong about it. But the whole message of the movie is like literally don't listen to your parents, go do whatever you want, go chase after this boy that you've known for like literally one day of looking at him. There's the evil sorceress takes away your voice. It's not a good message. Like it's not the best thing like when you really analyze it. So not my favorite. I would rather her spend time watching things that lead her to Christ, things that help her with Bible memory verse, you know, recognition and things like that. In my opinion, would be better. Veggie Tales, like those kinds of shows, that's what I would rather her be watching. But I know that she's not gonna live her entire life watching only Veggie Tales, so I just do the best that I can. Like when I catch something that I don't really love, I'm like, okay, like mental note, don't really love that, let's kind of steer away from that. Anyway, I'm sure that I could like dedicate a lot more time to answering that question, so let's just keep going because I think we're getting to the end of, like I still have to finish these Valentine's Day cards. I did a terrible job multitasking, so I'll answer a couple more questions. So are you going to breastfeed your baby? Yes, I have every intention of doing that, but you never know. Things happen that don't make that possible, but I would like to try to breastfeed. How old are you and Joe now? So I am 32. I'm going to be 33 in August, and then Joe is going to be 40 in September. So he's going to be 40 this year. I feel so weird saying that, but yeah, he's 7 years older than me, so there's like a bit of an age gap. But yeah, it's like the big 40th birthday. So happy birthday, or getting a baby. Thoughts on peaceful parenting? That's another one of those like big topics that I could dedicate tons of time to talking about. So a lot of these things, like I'd love to just like, I don't know, like once a week just sit down and like rant about one of these issues and topics, and maybe that would just be cool, like just more podcast style, like once a week let's just talk about one of these things, and then I don't have to worry about like trying to keep the answer super short. But I'll try to keep it short for this video. Thoughts on peaceful parenting, thoughts on like gentle parenting. I really struggle with the gentle parenting movement, because like on one token, like I'll be totally honest, like on like in one respect, like I get that you don't want to just like beat your kid. Like I totally get that, just, you know, like being physically violent towards your kid is obviously wrong. Like that's not okay by any means. But at the same time, it's like what's the middle ground? Because like a lot of the gentle parenting that I see, or that is in your face all the time on Instagram, on YouTube, I feel like it's just not gonna do it. Like I just feel like, I don't know, like are we teaching our kids, like first of all, like I'm the authority figure, you need to listen to me. Like I feel like there's sometimes, and again, I know that there are great people that do gentle parenting right. I know that I don't know everything about gentle parenting. So like, I know that if you're into it, you might hear me say something like, oh, you don't really understand what gentle parenting is. I'm just telling you where I'm at right now with what I see. These are like my initial feelings. I obviously could do so much more research on it. And that's where it's just like, I'm just trying to do my best here. Like we all are. But what I see is that gentle parenting is just more like, I don't know, child-led, and more like the kid is doing something, and then like you, I don't know, you just kind of have to like get to their level, which is all, can be good. Like it can be good, don't get me wrong. But sometimes like you're just like, hey, you need to do this because I'm your mother and I'm telling you that you have to do it. Like I don't know, am I insane? Like sometimes in the moment, in the middle of a tantrum, I can't recall like all of the acronyms and all of the things that they tell you that you should do, and like maybe I need to work on that, okay? But I struggle. And then in the same token, I struggle with like, are we, I don't know, like I hate to use the word like, you know, snowflakes, because I know that it has like a very bad connotation, but like, are we just making more snowflakes? Like, are we just making more kids that just always think that they're right, or that always think they're gonna be catered to? Like, in my opinion, I don't think that's the real world. Like, they're gonna go to work one day and their boss is gonna say, you need to do this because I told you you have to do it. And like, they're not gonna be sent to like a calm down corner. Like, eventually, like, we have to teach our kids, I know that you're upset right now, I know that you don't like the outcome, but like, you need to do what I'm telling you to do. So I just struggle with it, straight up. Like, I struggle with like, where is there more like middle ground? Because I don't agree with like the absolute alternative to gentle parenting, but gentle parenting taken to the extreme also, I don't think that that's been like beneficial to our kids. Like, I think again, we're creating a lot of issues for the future because the real world is not gentle. The real world is the opposite of gentle. And so how do you prepare them for that? Like, these are all the things that I lose sleep about, you know what I mean? So again, if you have tips or like really good accounts that you follow, like I follow a lot of them. And some things, like I'll tell you, there are some things that come across from like gentle parenting accounts and I'm like, okay, that's it. Like I totally agree with that. But then there's other things that I'm like, no. So I think that's also something too to keep in mind, that just because like maybe we can take and like pick and choose what makes sense for us. It's not like, oh, if you want to go the gentle parenting movement, then every single thing that this gentle parenting influencer ever says out of her mouth, you have to follow it. Like, maybe, again, maybe that's how you get to the middle ground. I don't know. That's literally just my brain working today, and I'm sorry. It's now 9:50 and that's as good as it's gonna get. So do we have any vacations planned for this year before baby number 3 comes? Right now we don't. No vacations. I would love to. Like, I would love to take a baby moon at some point before the baby comes, but we've got a lot going on because we're potentially supposed to be moving, and then we'll be selling this house, buying a house in Miami, and just praying to God that I can deliver this baby down in Miami, already be like settled in a house, and then give birth. That would be my preference for things. But again, he knows way better than I do. So I just pray that I can continue to trust him in his timing. But like, if I had it my way, yes, we would be able to sell this house sometime March, April, and then buy a house, you know, April, May, maybe June, and then just have like all of June to move in, and then June, July kind of move in, get settled, and then at the end of July, potentially early August, have the baby. But we will see what happens. Just keep praying for me. I would greatly appreciate it, because it is stressful, because like I'll have to move my care basically, and I'm pretty stressed about that. I'm trying not to think about it too much, because obviously I'm seeing the OBs here, but then I'm gonna have to get new doctors down there, and like a lot of practices don't want to take new patients. Like, the healthcare system is a mess, but hoping that, you know, it'll all work out. So are you gonna get a new vehicle? So this was actually, this one I wanted to answer because that was something else that I thought of. It's literally one of the first things I thought of when I found out that I was pregnant. So I have a GMC Acadia right now, and I like my car, and we bought that car and we paid it off. So like, that car is mine, and I don't have any payments on that car. So we only, you know, have a payment on Joe's truck. So I really wanted to keep it that way for as long as possible. So I think that we could probably put a car seat in the back seat, because it has a 3rd row. Will it be the most comfortable thing? Probably not. But Riley's at an age too, like she can get to the back. I'll just have to obviously still go in there to strap her in. But I think that that could work, at least for a little while. But eventually I think we'll need some more space. So that'll be something that maybe we can save towards. And once we get like our finances situated down in Miami and figure out like what kind of house we have, what kind of payment we have for our mortgage, then we can kind of maybe set aside some money to saving up for a car. But like, I love not having a car payment. Like that's a beautiful thing to not have to pay $400 every month or whatever the car payments are. So yeah, I'm not in any current rush to get a new car, but if I have to eventually one day, then I will have to. All right, so I have a bunch more questions. Thank you for asking them in the first place, you guys. I'd like to do these more often. Just, I don't know, like again, at the end of the week recap or end of the week, just let's talk about a specific topic. If there's anything you want me to cover, you can leave it in the comments. Because I have like a lot to say these days. I'm very chatty these days, and I will have a vlog for you also. Like the next video I put up will very likely be a vlog, by the way. My vlogs are still coming out. I still love to film vlogs. It's just been a hectic season, and just, you know, bear with me. Like today it was easier for me to just sit down here and chat with you guys than it was to like film throughout my entire day and then have like an hour long of footage to edit, and like editing vlogs are a little bit harder for me these days. So I just chose to go the route of what was gonna be the easiest for me. But I know you guys like the vlogs, so I will have one very soon. Either I'll put one up on Saturday or I'll have one first thing next week, but those will still be happening. But I'm just chatty and have a lot on my mind, and I don't know if it's just like straight up anxiety or just things that I'm thinking about, but I don't know, it's kind of fun to just like turn on the camera, because I find myself, the other day Riley was like, what are you doing? Because I was literally talking to myself out loud. Like these thoughts, like these kinds of thoughts that I have, I was saying them to myself for like a really long time, like downstairs on the couch by myself. And Riley literally looked at me, she's like, who are you talking to? And I was like, oh yeah, myself. Mama's talking to herself, so maybe I'm losing my mind. Probably, I don't know. But anyway, that's gonna be it for today's video, you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and try to see if I can make something kind of cute, put their names on these little watches packets. This is the worst looking Valentine's Day, but like I said, the kids are not gonna care. They're just gonna eat the food, and the little card that I'm like, you know, trying to put the little thing on, the little tattoo thing on, it's just gonna go in the garbage probably within an hour. So I also don't need to like, you know, stress my life about it. So I hope you guys enjoyed chatting with me, and let me know if you have any other questions. I hope you guys are doing great, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. I love you guys. I love your faces. Thank you for being here. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. It really helps my channel. Just literally just thumbs up it. It helps my channel big time, and I super appreciate it. So thank you for that. I love you, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.